and welcome to my first ever future film student. It's a great start already. Future film student recast, where I'm gonna take a movie, maybe it's a well-known movie, maybe it's not, and I'm going to maybe not completely, but I'm gonna change up the cast. And this time, what I'm doing is a Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs live action cast. I put a lot of thought into this, and so I really hope you like it. First up, we have none other than Tim Lockwood. Okay, I know it's kind of weird I'm starting with Tim, but I have good reasons. So for Tim, I have decided to cast Bill Camp. Now, this seems like a little weird because when you look at pictures of him, he's always smiling, but he's actually the reason that I decided to do Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs as my first one, because of his role in The Queen's Gambit. I was watching The Queen's Gambit, and I was looking at Mr. Scheibel, and I'm like, that is the human personification of Flint Lockwood's dad. And I do believe that I'm right in that. He shows a very strong ability to have that more scared of his emotions, not really sure how to express kind of role. So we have Bill Camp as Tim Lockwood. Moving on, we have Fran Lockwood. Now this one I am keeping as the original voice actor, Lauren Graham. I personally love Lauren Graham. I am a Gilmore Girls fan, but I also have seen her in other things. I just think she looks just like her character, and she obviously has the voice, and she was the voice actor, and that was just a really good casting decision. And then the Lockwood we're most excited for, Flint. Okay, bear with me on this one. I want to cast Logan Lerman. We can see from this picture that I have with him that he can kind of do more like a crazy hair look. He's definitely grown up a bit since Percy Jackson, and I really think that Logan has the ability to like take this role and have some fun with it. I think he would enjoy Flint Lockwood a lot. I also think that we can kind of see this genius ability to think side from him. He's a very smart person, and I think this would be a very good fit for him. I'm flying through these. I need to slow down, but I'm not. Okay. And then after Flint, we're gonna do young Flint. I would like to do, I think it's Ian. It could be Ian because there's an A after his name, but Ian Armitage, which if you don't know him, he plays young Sheldon, and I think this kid has this expert ability to play very smart people. I think that this is definitely a notch down from, not down as in a sense of like below, but just the amount of like energy. I think it's a notch, not energy, he has more energy than Sheldon, but it's just like smartness wise, I think Sheldon's just a little further up there. Okay, so I'm editing now, and what my very excited and very needs to take a nap self was trying to say there is that he's a notch down on the serious level, because I don't think Sheldon really knows how to have fun, which if you've watched Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon, you'd know that too. But Flint, he's just a lot more fun, and that's what I was trying to say. I know that smartness technically is a word, but that was not the proper use of it. I should have said like intelligence or something. I don't know. Just go back to the video. So I think this would still be a really good fit for him. But like, look at the energy of these two pictures. It's identical, and I love it. But anyway, I think this would be really good. They have the same like blue eyes and the same hair color, and I think that Ian would make a great young Flint Lockwood. And then the last of the Lockwoods, of course, we have Steve. Now, to me, Steve looks like an agile gibbon, although it does not say what kind of monkey he is, so I would like to see a CGI version of that. And I would rather have a CGI than an actual monkey, because there's a very, let me take my glasses off. There's a very, lengthy history with monkeys in Hollywood. They've been mistreated in the industry, so I think that just CGIing animals would be, specifically like monkeys, would be a better approach for this. So I want that type of monkey for Steve, and then I want to keep Neil Patrick Harris as the voice because he did such a great job in the first one. And this next one I am so excited for. She was the second person to actually cast. So the first one was Bill Camp, and then this next one, Sam Sparks, have Allison Stoner. That, I was kind of beta testing this idea with my friends, and I've got mixed reactions from that. I had one person ignore me completely, which was rude. I had one person who was like, okay, and then I had one like, I don't see it, but I get like, just like, look, just look. It's great. Anyway. So yeah, I went Allison Stoner as Sam Sparks. They have a very similar like face shape, and they both have these like really pretty green eyes, and I feel like Allison would do a really good job at playing a smart person who wants to pretend like she's something else. I think she could have that, because it's okay, it's a kids movie, it's not supposed to be that deep, but there's definitely this very two parts to Sam Sparks. She's very like reserved on who she is so she can please other people, and I think Allison Stoner would be just perfect with that. And then there's young Sam. We meet her for like a couple of seconds, and she's adorable, and she looks like Mia Tallarico, so casting Mia Tallarico. I just picked straight up Disney girls for the role of Sam Sparks, though. It's fine. It's good. We have original. Yeah, it's everything. It works out. It just worked out like that. I didn't actually mean to do that, but that's just how it came out. I need to calm down. I'm really excited though, because I'm gonna start doing these like sort of frequently. And this was a brilliant way to waste my time. But it wasn't actually a waste. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, I think Mia, who also has these like really pretty green eyes and just like the same general face shape and hair color as Sam, would do a great job as this. She's like 12 now. Weird to think, look, Charlie's 12, but Mia's like 12 now. So I can definitely see her as a younger version of Sam. I don't actually know how old young Sam and young Flint are, but both the people who I chose to play them are 12. So that's kind of the age range that I stuck them at. I think it works pretty well for them. And 12 is like that. It's like, you're definitely not 9 anymore, but it's before you hit your teen years, so you haven't like gone through puberty yet, so you still look like a kid. You could still play a 9-year-old if you needed to. With that note, we're moving on to Earl Devereaux. Now, this role, pretty iconic, and I know you're going to want me to cast Terry Crews here. And originally, Earl was voiced by Mr. T and Terry Crews, and I did consider Terry for a while, but here's why I didn't pick him. Terry Crews is in his 50s, and so is Bill Camp, and I place Tim Lockwood older than I place Earl. So I didn't want to have someone that close in age, because I definitely think there needs to be an age difference there, because then it would make more sense if Flint and Cal were closer in age than they are, because obviously Cal's a small child and Flint's an adult in his like mid-20s, maybe late 20s. I'd say mid to late 20s, which also fits the bill for Logan Lerman, who's 27, looking gorgeous, still looked gorgeous in Percy Jackson 2. Not Percy Jackson 2, Percy Jackson as, not that there was a lot wrong with Percy Jackson, but it was not his fault. We'll get into that. I will make a video on that, on why the movies were not the fault of the actors. We loved the cast, but we hated what Fox did to it. Anyway, this got very off track. For Earl, I picked Damien Poitier. I think I pronounced his name right. If I didn't, forgive me. Now, you may know him as Thanos. No, not that Thanos. This Thanos. Yeah, this Thanos. Damien played the original Thanos, who was then later recast And I think like from that we could see that he does have this like muscly figure, so he would do well as the role of Earl. He has the same kind of eye color. He doesn't really have the same face shape, but I couldn't go off of that for Earl because he's not built like a human. Have you, that just, he's like a triangle, tiny waist, and then like a pew. And then his head is it's smaller up here and then rounder down there, and just generally that's not how heads are shaped. They're generally larger in the forehead. Okay, you missed stuff because I had paused this, and then my sister was here, so I went down. We're back. So anyway, this part of your head is bigger than your chin. That's how people are built. Earl's not built like a person. Yeah? Came back in now that the light has completely moved from my window. And yes, I use sunlight. We're on a time crunch here. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, Damien Poitier as Earl. Yeah, I don't know why I cut off the word Earl, but yeah, as Earl. Then we have Earl's wife, Regina. I was really excited for this one because I love the idea of putting, hold on, where are we going? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I love the idea of putting big actors in smaller roles. Like, I think it's just really fun. It's just kind of a nice surprise for people to be like, oh my god, that's and such. So we have Gabrielle Union as Regina Devereaux, I think it's how I pronounce it. No, we're saying Devereaux. Anyway, so Regina Devereaux. I think it's a good match. She has the same general face shape. They have like very similar noses. Gabrielle Union is Gabrielle Union, so their son, Cal Dervaux. I have him as Seth Carr. You may recognize his face. He played young Eric Stevenson. It's been a while since I watched the movie, but he played young Killmonger in Black Panther. So I think they have this very similar kind of vibe to them, very like same look. I think it's really cute. And then this next one, I'm excited for this next one. So next up we have Brent. And who better to play Brent than Noah Monk? Yes, Gibby from iCarly, Noah Monk. I think this is an amazing, it's an amazing matchup. Especially because Brent spends a lot of the movie in a diaper, and I feel like that would, which is really gross and weird, and would be very awkward in a live action version, but not the point. Anyway, I feel like that would match Noah very well, and it would give his fans kind of a return to that sense of Gibby, because in iCarly, Gibby was just like never wearing a shirt. It was just like, it's a Gibby, and then he would just like dance around shirtless. It was weird then, it's weird now, but it would work for this role. I think he could have fun with it. They have a similar kind of look to them, and so yeah, Noah Monk for Brent. And then there is a scene with young Brent. He's making fun of young Flint, and for young Brent, I have this kid. His name is Glenn Gordon, and I haven't really seen Glenn Gordon act in much. He's in a couple of movies. Hold on. Yeah, so he's in a movie called When Calls the Heart and a movie called Deadly Class. And while I haven't really watched those, I think he has a very aged down look of Noah Monk. I base this more off of him looking like the younger version of Noah, because sadly Noah's younger brother is like, he's my age now, so it's not gonna be like you can just have his younger sibling play him, which I love when that happens. I love when big siblings and little siblings play older, younger versions of each other. I think that's just a really cool thing. But in this case, it wasn't meant to be, so we have this not recast, he was never cast in the first place, so we have this little guy here, Glenn Gordon. He's adorable. And then the only natural transition from Brent to anyone else is the mayor. Yes, mayor. This is going to be fun to do if they actually ever do a live action version of this, because he goes from this really like normal sized person not normal size. There's nothing wrong with, like, he goes from, like, just, like, a regular generic. Okay, so another day of editing, because, turns out you can't do everything in one night. But anyway, what I was trying to say here is when I said normal size, I wasn't saying normal like a normal person size. I'm saying normal for him. That was his normal, and everyone's gonna have a different normal. So what I'm saying here is that he went from his regular, like, generic size to a size that was not good for him because of how quickly he went there. So it's gonna let you go back now. So I think there's gonna be, like, a lot of fun there with body sculpting, and, like, maybe like how Medea had, like, the fat suit, and Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire, and you could do, like, padding in place. I think that could be really fun. That could be a fun role to do. I made another mistake. Forgive me. I did not actually say the name of the person I'm doing for the mayor. I noticed that again while editing. Duh. That's why we're here. So, I'm just gonna say that was a picture of Alec Baldwin next to him. I think Alec would have some fun with the role. I just got really carried away talking about why I think the role would be fun that I forgot to say who I put there. So, yeah, Alec Baldwin. Last but not least, Manny. The cameraman, the pilot, who was also a doctor. He was kind of just, like, a little bit of everything. I want him to be played by none other than Michael Pena. Now, if you don't remember that name, we've dipped into the Marvel Universe one more time to pull out the guy from Ant-Man who says everything really quickly. I think he's just this really fun guy, and I feel like it's a very opposite role from that, where he was just, like, saying everything and saying it like this, and it was like, and then Manny, like, sometimes he talks like this, sometimes he doesn't talk, and it's just like, I think that'd be a very fun transition, and I think it'd be a really good fit for him. So yeah, that is all I have for my first Future Film Student recast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, I'd also like to hear that. Constructive criticism is always welcome, although I think I nailed this one. I won't always. I know I'll get things wrong occasionally, but I got this one very right. And, trying to think of what else to say. I have a lot of energy right now because I have no energy. You know how we do this? We do sleep deprivation plus excitement equals chaotic energy. And more life lessons from Alicia. Okay, bye!